Hello, race fans, and welcome to Pure Racing Pit Reporters here on EuroNASCAR's official YouTube channel. And I'm joined by Jack Davidson, who founded his own team with his family for the 2024 EuroNASCAR season. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going really well. Going really well. A lot of things to try and get ready for the start of the season, but we're slowly working our way through it and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's going well. Just need to try and try and keep powering through and getting all the stuff done. To be fair.
How is the preparation going? What are you doing?
Well, to be fair, we obviously we've run our own team this year, so um, we need to the race team that we ran, the same team over here, and we had like a big Arctic truck, but unfortunately it's too big to come onto European roads, so we had to sell that and then try and get another truck, and then turns out that one we had another truck as well, but that one's too big, so we had to cut the roof off it and drop the roof a wee bit. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that, trying to get stuff ready. But car
Yep.
prep wise, it's been good. I mean, we were out in Knockhill a couple of weeks ago, so that was pretty good. A wee shakedown in the car, and then brought it back, stripped down again, and kind of put it all back together. So yeah.
Tell me, how does it look like? Where's the car staying at the moment?
So the car's actually down in the garage now, so it's just on the farm. So it's just like a kind of one of the outbuildings, one of the outbuildings was turned into a garage. So yeah, it's got two posters, a four poster. It's actually got loads of ramps and that in it. But yeah, so it's kind of sitting down there now, just collecting dust at the moment until we wash it. So yeah.
It sounds like a little bit old school NASCAR on a farm, preparing the car right there. You have experience in running your own team with your family, but is it a different story preparing a Euro NASCAR car for you guys?
I mean, we used to run 7 cars back over here when we ran the minis. So going to 1 car, I'm sure Simon's pretty happy with that. But no, to be fair, it's actually probably easier to work on a NASCAR just because it's so kind of like old school traditional NASCAR. So I mean, it's not really any electronics or anything like that. So I mean, everything's pretty back to basics really. So I mean, he loves it. So yeah, it's not actually too bad, to be fair. It's pretty good.
But how was it to make the decision to found your own team in EuroNASCAR? You've been with Markus Motorsport in the last season. Now you're doing it on your own with your own family members, with your guys around you with a lot of experience. But when made you the decision to run your own team in EuroNASCAR?
The decision came just quite. We looked at teams. We looked at different teams and Marco as well. We were actually in the process of going back. And then me and my mum kind of had a bit of a wee change of heart, and we're just like, do you know what? We've managed to run 7 cars like at once in the UK, which in the minis, which are they're quite temperamental. So I said to Simon, spoke to Simon and was like, what do you think? Do you think we could run our own team if we get some of the old gang back together, if you like? So yeah, he seemed pretty keen that he could do it. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm buzzing.
And the car looks really, really interesting. I like the color because when we see the other presentations, we have a lot of black cars on the grid, but your car is going to shine out a lot. Why did you choose these colors?
I mean, my kind of the whole point of me kind of going pink, especially obviously you would have seen last year, like I had pink suit and stuff. Was just more for the fact of like people remembering you, and a lot like so on TV and stuff you'll be able to see it as well because as you said, a lot of the cars are black. So whether it's black and grey or black and or whatever. I mean, I don't really think it stands out as much as kind of pink and just chrome pink. So yeah, I mean, I think to be fair, when it's going around track, it does actually look really, really good. It actually looks better on track than it does sitting on its own. So yeah, I'm yeah, it should look good.
Definitely. I love the colors. It really points out. It's a highlight on the grid. So I'm really looking forward to see it in Valencia when we kick off the season. Another question I have is when you joined EuroNASCAR last year, you have been racing in the UK in plenty of series. You've done the minis. How is it event wise when you look at the events of EuroNASCAR? How is it to be there as a racing driver?
I mean, I think the European NASCAR is like leaps and bounds above what I've done before. I mean, what I've done before is kind of like a step below British touring cars, so it's kind of like just below the kind of top you can kind of go in Britain, the UK, and even because we were running on the same paddock as the touring cars. I mean, the way that NASCAR does it is just so much more for the fans, so much more accessible for fans to come in, see the cars, see the drivers, signatures, photos, all that kind of stuff. Whereas over here, it's kind of fans are kind of over there and we're over here kind of thing. So I love the way that NASCAR is, to be fair. Just brings everyone together, makes it more of like a family event. And yeah, I mean, again, there's so many like stalls and all that kind of stuff at the weekend. You can buy merch and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, NASCAR's definitely doing it right.
As a UK driver, that's very interesting for me because I grew up with stock car racing, and I know that you have a lot of stock car racing tracks in the UK as well, the 400-meter ovals with Briscar, Formula One, National Hot Rods, and stuff like this. And we're going to be back oval racing at Raceway Venray. They have a small track in the middle as well for those stock car racing. Do you have any background there? Did you turn laps on an oval already?
Never.
Oh,
It's actually the probably track I'm most looking forward to this year. Yeah, I know. I've never really done any ovals, but I'm always up for a challenge. Love a challenge, so yeah, that's one I'm quite looking forward to be fair.
That's interesting because a lot of UK guys that I get to know during the last years, they all went through mini stocks or stuff like this. So that's interesting that you're a road course racer only. So oval is going to be a very nice challenge. But let's talk about the season opener, Valencia. We're going to Circuit Ricardo Tormo again. You have some experience there. You're going to be in EuroNASCAR too. So what are your goals for the season and for the first two races?
For the first two races, I think it's just more trying to pick up as much points as I can. I mean, I'm kind of obviously aiming for to get the top step of the championship this year. But again, it is a hard championship. You know that yourself. The drivers in it are good, really good drivers. So I think it's just trying to, as long as I can gather as much points as I can throughout the season and have as little DNFs as I can, then we should be looking okay. Because championship's not won in a race weekend, you know. So it's all about the long game. Just trying to kind of pick up as much points. And yeah, just kind of go from there. But I mean, the first two races at Valencia should be really good. I mean, last year I was doing quite well. I was sitting 8th or something, and then got fired off straight through the gravel. So that wasn't really ideal. But yeah, I mean, last year, I mean, we had a wee bit of issues with the car that we couldn't really fathom all weekend. So yeah, we'll see how it goes this year, and hopefully Simon can sort them issues.
We saw it last year when you were at Motorsport, when we joined you in the garage, and also the fans when they joined you. There was a lot of fun with you guys. You were always available for the fans. Now you're coming with your own hospitality, with your own truck, with your own team. When fans meet you in the paddock and the whole team, what can they expect from you?
They can expect fun, laughing, yeah, all bright pink and grey colours. That's what they can expect. I mean, like any race weekends. I mean, all our guys are really there's guys I've known for years. So I mean, they're all brand new, really sound. So like any time that there's like any fans or whatever coming over, they'll always get a conversation, especially with me as well. I love to talk.
Have you been a NASCAR fan before you joined EuroNASCAR? Do you watch the American races?
Yeah, well, I was in America when I was 13, I think. I seen my first NASCAR race. It was the Coke 400 at Daytona, and since the first time I watched that, I was like, "This is what I need to do," and this is the dream. So kind of at the point that was the point where we're kind of just jumping into like cars and kind of doing the stepping stones up through. So, I mean, we didn't really have the opportunity until last year. It was quite a last minute call, to be fair, to jump into Euro NASCAR. But it's a call I wish I'd done a year before or a couple of years before. But to be fair, we're here now, so I'm really happy with that. And yeah, we just need to kind of see where it can lead to. Hopefully over to America.
That was my next question. So the goal is really to maybe race in the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or even Cup Series?
Yeah, so again, it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
You know that yourself. It's all money. So yeah, but I mean, if I can do well, show that I'm pretty good at the kind of road circuits, and hopefully try and do a bit of testing on the ovals. Hopefully when if the opportunity ever does come about, that yeah, we should try and get over there.
I've seen a Instagram story, I think, about you when you said to people, because you mentioned money already, when you said to people, race drivers, you expect race drivers not to work, but you were in a working outfit doing something. Can you tell me what you're doing on a regular day?
So I used to last year. I used to work for my dad, doing welding, fabricating. So I was welding all kind of through the week, fabricating handrails and ramps and all that kind of stuff. So that was the job last year. And then kind of the start of the year, I got offered a job at Knockhill to work full time as an instructor. So I wasn't too keen on. I wasn't gonna do it because dad's flat out with work and stuff. So um, yeah, I kind of said to him, and he was like, "No, go and do it, go and do it." So yeah, that's where I am now. So I'm up at Knockhill now, working, doing instructing, marshalling, kind of barrier fixing, teen drive, loads of stuff. So yeah, it's good. It's good, man. I think more time, like although I'm not in a NASCAR, I think more time in the seat going around the track always kind of keeps the eye in. Do you know what I mean? So I think even if I'm sitting in the passenger seat instructing someone who's never driven around the track before, I just think it's good to keeps me on the ball and also keeps like the eye in the game kind of thing.
Yeah. Is that the way, if you're not a factory driver, a paid driver, but is that the way to become a professional driver? Because in the end, you're now earning money by racing cars or driving cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's an avenue that, like, again, like people always say, "Oh yeah, I want to be a racing driver and all this kind of stuff." Whereas, like, some people just want to be involved in motorsport. So technically, you probably could say that that's you involved making money out of motorsport. So yeah, I mean, you could class it as that. Yeah.
Yeah, but because people already almost tell me, I want to be a factory driver, I want to be paid by for driving, but I see a lot of people going around earning money in motorsports by doing stuff like you do, and in the end, they are pros.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely a good, it's a good way to get your name out there, especially if you're working with like kind of bigger teams and doing the data for bigger teams. I mean, the guy who is doing my data this year, he's done my data for me when I was a lot younger, and he does like loads of film stunt driving, and he runs you know at Paul Ricard, they've got the Renault F1
Yeah,
car, the experience there. He runs that. Got to drive an F1 car and everything. So he's yeah. So I mean that's just the avenue you can go down as well.
yeah, that's
Which is
interesting.
brilliant.
Last question I have is about your home race when we are back to Brands Hatch. What you're expecting there, because the people are crazy over there.
Yeah,
I love the UK motorsports enthusiasm.
yeah. I know. To be fair, it was really good last year. That's the first time I've ever been. Obviously, um, actually, I was searching up the other day. I was telling someone that I was working with, one of the mechanics. We're working on my car at night, and I was like, Have you ever seen the crash I had at Brands last year?" No, I've not seen it. As soon as I searched up Brands Hatch NASCAR, it was the first thing that came up, like a 30-second clip of my crash. I was like, "Oh well." But no, I mean, I think this year is just going to be again just trying to collect points, but I'm also going to obviously try and push every race weekend, push as hard as I can. But with it brands, obviously I've done quite a lot of laps around there, done a bit of work there as well. So hopefully should have a wee bit of an upper hand, especially in the wet as well, because kind of last year obviously it had the crash and then we had to get it fixed the next day. And it started raining, which was ideal for me. I kind of managed to come up through a good bit. So, I mean, if it rains, I should be pretty good, and especially in the dry as well. I know the track quite well, so yeah, we just need to see how it goes. Really, I don't really like putting a kind of can't think of the word kind of on it what we're going to try and do. But I mean, for me, it's going to be trying to do as best I can, try and win.
Yep. I'm from Germany, and we always say that in the UK it's always raining, so the chances might be high.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, thank you so much for joining me here today, Jack Davidson, driving for Lux Motorsport in the 2024 EuroNASCAR 2 season. Thank you so much.
Thank you, mate.
All right, then follow us on YouTube to watch all the races live. We're going to have the live stream again in 2024, and of course, join us at the track. So thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.